second successive local government elections were held on November 12, affording Guyanese the opportunity to again exercise their constitutional rights to elect the person they deem suitable to manage the affairs of their respective communities. This week on InfoHub In Depth, we look at the importance of the elections and the results following Election Day.
LGE is a system that is provided for in accordance with the Local Authorities Elections Act and its subsequent amendments. The first local government elections were held in 1974. GCOM, who is responsible for hosting these elections, divided the country into local authority areas. Claremont Mingo, registration officer from GCOM, explains.
Local authority areas are made up of NDCs and municipalities.
There are 80 local authority areas that contested the 2018 local government elections. These local authority areas are divided into 595 constituencies.
In those specific areas, people who belong to the area will be given an opportunity to elect the people they want to govern them in the specific areas. So, if I'm from Georgetown, for example, I can't go to Buxton Falls and vote for somebody there because I'm not from that specific local authority area. I have to vote in the municipality of Georgetown. Good? So that is how it is structured. You vote within your local authority area for the people you want to govern you in that area.
Local government elections are held in Guyana using a mixed electoral system of proportional representation and first past the post.
Parties and groups have or can or will participate in the proportional representation section. That section, like I said, is for parties and groups. But when it comes to the first past the post or constituency component, there is where parties or groups can put up individuals, and individuals themselves can put up themselves. So in this first past the post system, it is the person with the highest vote will represent the constituency in which he or she is running. But with the proportional representation system, the votes of all the constituencies of the local authority area will have to be tallied, and by an electoral quota will decide how many seats each party or group is allocated.
Mingo said GCOM ensures that an elaborate and comprehensive training program is conducted with staff.
Well, at this point, our training programs have all been completed. And at this point, we are very, very satisfied with the staff that we are having. However, election is just around the corner. We are still engaging our poll day staff in continuous training until the day of election.
November 12 was the fourth local government elections Guyana has had since the first one was held in 1974. The return of local government elections represents the evolution of Guyana's democracy, Minister of Communities Ronald Bolkan had said.
In the local government elections that will be held on 12th November, and it will mark the first time in the post-independent history of Guyana that successive local government elections are being held as legally or constitutionally due.
Minister Bolkan described the election as historic for various reasons, including the frequency it is being held under the current administration and the framework used to guide the process.
Because I've always had a deep conviction that the decentralized model of governance that it provides for, which, as I said earlier, is a rejection and a repudiation of winner takes all, is indeed one of the critical measures that will help us to achieve social cohesion.
The minister said following the 1994 hosting of the local government elections, councillors were merely there for cosmetic value. Under this government, Minister Bulkan noted persons are being empowered to serve their communities.
That attitude of control that existed in the previous dispensation has been removed and replaced with an attitude and a philosophy that respects not only the authority but significantly the autonomy of these councils, where they'll be allowed to garner the revenue and resources that they are needed, and that attitude of control has been replaced with one of cooperation and collaboration.
9 new local authority areas, 1 new town, 8 councillors, an additional 8 neighbourhood democratic councils participated in this year's local government elections. Minister Bulkan explained the government is not only deepening the system of local government, but broadening it to allow for more participation.
Days prior to the local government elections, some of the major parties expressed confidence in their candidates' ability to serve their respective communities.
The Partnership for National Unity, or APNU, contested the local government elections in more than 70 of the 80 local authority areas. Campaign manager and Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali said the party mostly contested in the proportional representation part of the electoral process.
Well, we are contesting in most of the areas, or all of the PR, but there might be some which I cannot itemize at the moment because there are 10 regions. There are some where we may not be contesting in all the constituencies. Even those that we are not contesting in, we are supporting the independent candidates.
Minister Ali noted their candidates were among the best across the country.
It's a mixture of males and females, young, not so young, old, but it is a good mix of people with ability, with experience, and people whom the community, I believe, would respect and will elect as leaders.
The government is a coalition of the APNU and Alliance for Change, or AFC, but the two parties contested the local government elections separately. Region 4 chairman of the AFC and head of the local government elections list in Georgetown, Michael Leonard, said his party supported independent candidates in 38 out of the 80 local authority areas.
We're not contesting all of the proportional representation components in all of the local area authorities, but we have a total of 161 constituency candidates and over 600 candidates in total.
Leonard said the decision to support independents and community leaders, even if they were not part of the party, is at the heart of what local governance is.
One of the reasons for you supporting the local persons is that exactly what it is. It's local government elections. You want persons who are familiar with the issues that are affecting their constituencies. People who are familiar with the day-to-day stuff, which drain needs to be cleared, which street needs street lights. You don't want to dominate the local government system with persons who are just party faithfuls, who are going to maybe push a national agenda at the local level, because that defeats the whole purpose of local government elections at the end of the day. You want persons who are familiar with the issues. You want persons who are committed and passionate about getting them done because they affect them as well. Those are issues that affect them on a daily basis as well.
Leonard was confident that the AFC's candidates would be successful.
A lot of the persons that we're working with are persons who have been active in their communities before. Some of them had no interest in politics. Some of them are persons who have actually contested local government elections as independents before. So most of them have been active. And because of that, they already have a support base in the community. Persons who have been working with them during the actual campaigning and canvassing. Persons who have gone out and worked with them to try to get the persons to come out to vote and so on. We didn't have any issues getting nominators. And nominators is a little bit of a litmus test, if you want to call it that, a mini test to see if you will get supporters. Because if you can't get 50 signatures to support you, then it's highly unlikely you're going to get 50 persons to come out and vote for you. So we have high confidence. We believe a lot of the persons are people who are passionate about their community.
Persons were encouraged to go out on November 12th to exercise their constitutional right to vote.
Region 4 Chairman of the AFC, Michael Leonard, noted that local government elections had not been a part of the Guyanese culture for a number of years.
Not having it for a little while has created a big problem. So what we're telling people is we're trying to get them to understand the difference between national and local. But generally there is voter apathy around the place.
The AFC had run a grassroots campaign which included voter education on the importance of local government elections.
We've been telling people it is important to have your say. It is important to come out and vote to ensure that you get a chance to be a part of the conversation, be a part of the process of choosing someone. The person that you choose may not win, but at the end of the day, you were part of the process. In the next cycle, the person that you choose may win, but this is basically the process of hiring and firing the person that is there. So if you don't like the person that is there, you get an opportunity to fire that person and hire someone else. Because at the end of the day, local government officials are public servants. They're people who are there to manage the resources of the community. So this is your opportunity to get rid of them if you don't like them.
APNU's campaign manager, Minister Amna Ali, noted candidates were sensitizing citizens on the importance of local government elections.
We have been all the candidates have been visiting their constituencies and even constituencies that they don't belong to, but like in Georgetown generally, they visit, they sensitize the electorate, they tell them what are our achievements that we've had since we've been in government, as well as their proposals of what they would like to see in some of these areas.
Minister Ali was confident that the voter turnout will be better than it was in the 2016 local government elections.
I have the sense that the people are eager to go out and cast their votes. I have a strong feeling that people are going to go out and vote. I know that it is traditional that you don't normally would have a high percentage of voter turnout, but I strongly believe that this time it's going to be a little different.
On November 12th, more than 1,600 polling stations across the country opened at 6 a.m. Leading the charge was Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, who is performing the duties of President, and his wife, Mistress Sita Nagamutu, cast their ballots at the National Aquatic Centre, Liliendal, on the east coast of Demerara.
The menu of measures that people are looking at this point in time is very broad, and I feel that it could be much more than I'm telling you right now. But I feel that there is a new consciousness arising in Guyana, a consciousness that is coming from bottom up, which is good for democracy, which is good for the health of democracy, that more people at the grassroots are conscious of their responsibilities.
Previously, I think there was this pattern of just having the same persons all the time over and over because of parties. You know, if you belong to a special party and you go out there to vote, you'll just want to vote for that party. But now I think people should be more educated. They should be more alert-minded as to what is going on in their communities and not think about party, but think about communities.
Several ministers of government also shared their views on the elections process.
I think we should be cognizant, we should remember that this system, which has been ignored for so long, that creating or generating the level of civic engagement and voter participation will take some time. But the short answer is yes, we are satisfied with the efforts that we have made. But I think what is going to be required now that we have had successive local government elections as legally due is to, beginning 2019, is to probably redouble our efforts.
I think today is a very important day in the life of all of our the local government system. It is the second time in within a short period of time since we came into office in 2015 that we're having local government elections.
As soon as the AP and UAFC entered government in 2016, after the 22 years we had elections. This is the second one since we are in government, and we are hoping that all Guyana will understand the importance of the local government elections.
Well, I think this year we've gotten a larger number of people that understand the importance of the process. I think in 2016, a lot of people weren't familiar because we hadn't had it for such a long time. So for me, I've gone over the length and breadth of Guyana talking about local government elections. And I think people are beginning to understand that they got to come forward. They got to come forward and stand up and be willing to serve as a candidate.
Our team caught up with some of the residents across the 10 administrative regions who turned out in their numbers to vote at the local government elections.
Essequibian Winston LaRose expressed confidence in the voting system as he casted his vote in Queenstown on the Essequibo coast.
I hope to see change. We don't want when this local government election finish, we go back in the same thing again. We vote for change, and we must see change.
In Region 3, voters Kwesi Thomas expressed similar sentiments.
I'm out to vote today and to basically, I'll say, exercise my franchise. And I hope for good governance in the community of Port Join and for the field, the entire Guyana. So my choice today is to go out there and make my best choice.
In Region 4, one of the prominent individuals to exercise their right to vote along the east coast of Demerara was Deputy Commissioner of the Guyana Police Force in charge of administration, Paul William. He underscored the importance of voting to influence change.
Going out there this morning and to really exercise my franchise, it is my democratic privilege and it is something that I respect. And I also wish that every other member of the community can see the importance of this. To have an opportunity to vote is indeed an opportunity to bring about a change. And definitely, I know it's just a matter of time, things will change for the betterment. But then what is happening that people must understand that there's a process. And if you don't be a part of the process, well, therefore, it simply means that I don't think your voice will be heard the way it ought to be. But I'm very happy that my opportunity has been available, because on the date of joint services vote, we know that it's very important, and we encourage our members to come out and vote, and also to ensure that, that they have a say through the democratic process, and which also is their constitutional right.
Looking to the local government election to ensure continued development, several residents of Madhya chose to vote early. Among them were Crystal Ranji.
As a young person, I would like to see it develop. I would like, the right person to help in developing the community, because I've lived here all my life, so I'm happy to see that it's changing. So yeah, I really wanted to vote.
It was just 2 years ago when Bartica in Region 7 was declared a township. Residents participated in their first local government elections. On November 12, when the polls opened once again, Barticians cast their ballots in their second ever local government elections.
It's an honor to cast my vote for the first time, I think, in history for me, for young people, twice in 3 years. Because the last local government elections were held in 2016. And now we're here again, renewing our democracy just 2 years and just over 2 years after. So I am very grateful for this opportunity, and I think that the Barticans today will use this opportunity to renew their democracy and allow persons to know that they have the power to choose their leaders.
I was born here, Bartica, my children are born here, and I want to see Bartica continue developing, and I'm voting for the betterment of this community.
In Region 10, Government MP Jermaine Figuera was among officials and voters who expressed their happiness for Guyanese being afforded this opportunity under the government.
So I'm very much happy that the opportunity is being afforded once again under this government to afford every Guyanese an opportunity to participate in local democracy. As His Excellency would always say, all politics is local, and we must afford our Guyanese an opportunity to participate in the decision process that will enhance their community. So this is what local government election is all about.
Voter, come out, cast your ballot. You have an opportunity to determine and to choose who you want to be your leaders at the mayor and town council. And so it doesn't make sense for you to stay home or just lie on the street and refuse to go and vote. And then others will determine who your councillor should be, and then you may not be satisfied with the choices made. So democracy was returned to the people of Guyana in 2016. And yes, we criticized the 22 years where there was an absence of local government election. And now that the election has returned and you have an opportunity to determine who you want your council to be, and not central government putting an IMC in place to run the affairs of your municipality.
Oh, my experience was great this morning, and I'm encouraging everyone to come out to vote.
In the new local authority areas, persons were excited to be able to vote for the first time. Our team visited the newly established Hararuni Yarokabra Neighborhood Democratic Council.
Residents were looking forward to increased development as they cast their ballots for the first time in the local government elections.
But it's something very good because we're having the opportunity now that the person we put there to represent us, we now have a say to tell them what we need.
I'm glad for that because this is the first time I ever voted for a local government election, and I want a better community where I'm living.
Well, I'm glad it farmers NDC because we vote all the time and we never get no encouragement on the highway we live in. And we need nothing. We're glad for vote for somebody win for we get some sort of things on the highway.
Well, from today we will look forward for the betterment of the community, and we need to. I really am optimistic about the future.
Results for LGE were posted at the Office of the Returning Officers across the country. GGUM also released results.
Of the 80 local authority areas in this year's local government elections, 10 were towns. Those were Anna Regina, Corriverton, Bartica, Georgetown, Lethem, Linden, Madja, Mabaruma, New Amsterdam and Rose Hall. In Georgetown, APNU gained 21 seats out of the 30. The AFC gained 2 and the PPP gained 7. While there were 374,000 eligible voters in Georgetown, only 28,868 voted. Madja, one of the newest towns created, also saw APNU winning big. They won a combined 5 seats while the AFC secured 2 seats and the PPP won. This was the first local government elections for Madja since receiving its township status last month. APNU also won big in the towns of Bartica, Linden and New Amsterdam. In Bartica, APNU won 12 seats, the PPP 5 and the AFC 1. In Linden, the APNU won 13 seats, the PPP 1 and the AFC 2. And in New Amsterdam, the APNU won 10 seats, while the PPP gained 3 and the AFC 1. In Lethem, the PPP secured most of the seats on the council. PPP won a combined total of 6 seats, while the APNU secured 4. The AFC did not gain any seats, although it contested in Lethem. The PPP also won the town of Mabaruma. It gained 6 seats, while the APNU won 4. The AFC did not win any, although contesting in that town. New Amsterdam was the only municipality in the East Berbice Quarantine region that was not won by the PPPC. Rose Hall Town and Corriverton will see the PPP in control once again.
Minister of Communities Ronald Bolkan said he is pleased with the work and effort that has been put into the hosting of the second successive local government elections.
We have put in considerable effort, as has GCOM and other stakeholders, but I think we should be cognizant, we should remember that this system, which has been ignored for so long, that creating or generating the level of civic engagement and voter participation will take some time. But the short answer is yes, we are satisfied with the efforts that we have made.
The minister said there seems to be a greater understanding of the importance of local government elections.
I believe a new word has entered the Guyanese lexicon, namely the word constituency, because all across our country we are hearing citizens and persons speaking of their constituency. So what this tells us is that people are beginning to have a greater understanding of the system of local government and the responsibilities of representatives or candidates and eventually councillors that they owe to their constituencies.
Minister Bulkin noted in 2019 the government will redouble its efforts to ensure an even more successful local government election in 2021.
The key objectives that we had set ourselves as part of the repair and restoration of the system were threefold. Well, firstly, to ensure that the democratic credentials are intact, and we have satisfied that. Secondly, it's to ensure that there is capacity building and institutional strengthening within our councils. And thirdly, to address the question of the revenue base or the financial security of councils, which perhaps is even more important than the first two, because it is that, but however, these three factors combined that will help to ensure that there is greater effectiveness and efficiency within the functioning of councils, because it is that that will ensure that citizens, wherever they live, see, understand and recognize the importance of participating in this process.
Up to the time of recording this program, the unofficial results show that the APNU has won the towns of Georgetown, Bartica, New Amsterdam and Mahdia. The PPP has won the other 5 towns, while the AFC has gained seats in Georgetown, Mahdia, Bartica, New Amsterdam and Linden.